Hey loves, Kim here, and I'm back with another video. So, it's been a minute. It's been a couple weeks since I posted on the channel, and I just wanted to tell you all I truly apologize. My main goal for this year is just to be more consistent and to share as much content, quality content as possible with you all, but I've been having a lot of things going on in my real life that's been kind of postponing me actually doing sim videos. But yeah, I'm here with a new video and I am building a mansion. So this mansion is pretty much inspired by the Get Famous expansion pack coming out this Friday on the 16th, and I'm super duper hyped for it, y'all. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so ready to see Del Sol Valley and to get into all of the gameplay and, you know, building just some awesome things. Like, I have so many ideas running through my head. Like, it's absolutely insane. But yeah, of course, this item doesn't have this build rather doesn't have any items from the Get Famous pack. However, it is inspired because this is a mansion, and I had California in mind. Some of my inspiration photos were like Beverly Hills mansions, also Hollywood Hills mansions. So just something really large, really opulent, and really over the top. So yeah, about the things going on in my real life, nothing terrible or tragic. Don't worry, be happy actually. So we've recently moved house, and there are some pros and cons to here, but mostly pros. So the main pro is we have more space. I have, you know, a designated office space where I'll be able to make content with you all and just be creative and, you know, something separate from where it was before, which was essentially the living room, and when we would have guests over, I couldn't create content for you all because that was a shared space when we had guests over. But now I have a designated office, so hooray, I'm super duper happy and just so grateful for that. So yeah, if my setup sounds a little bit different, this office is still kind of empty, and our floors are different. So in our last house we had carpet, and we don't have carpet in this house. So if there's like an extra echo, I do apologize. And of course there's more pros, but I won't get into that in this video. The main con is that we are by the airport. So if you hear planes in the background, I do apologize. Unfortunately, that's something that I cannot control when the airplanes leave and come back. And we're by one of the busiest airports in the country. So we have planes quite frequently here. But besides that, if you all could just bear with that, if that happens in my videos, everything else will be just great. So yeah, I really miss you all. Like, you all don't understand. Like, my energy has been so low. Don't get me wrong, like I've been super duper excited that we've been moving house and getting everything together and making this place really our own. However, just not being able to do videos for you all because we're constantly moving things in and out. You know, I'm just getting my computer and things set up. You know, it's been kind of affecting me, and I miss you all, and I haven't had a chance to really properly say thank you all so much for 100+ subscribers. It means so much to me, and I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you all. And I can't promise that I'm going to be making videos. Sorry, that's an airplane. Right now, I can't promise that I'm going to be making videos like 3 times a week. Right now, we still have plenty to do in the house. But for now, I'm just trying to get out content to you all as frequently as I possibly can while we still have everything around the house. And hopefully by next month, we'll be a bit more settled and I can get back to a more consistent schedule. So I just want to say thank you all so much for understanding in advance. So yeah, let's actually talk about this build. So yeah, like I said, this is a mansion and it's very California inspired. I love the architecture out there. It's just so big, it's so grand. And as you all may know, traditional houses or traditional style houses aren't really my thing. So this was a great challenge for me to really tackle that, especially with the roofing. It's not perfect, but I feel like it works. One of my favorite things about this build is the driveway here that we're working on. So I definitely was super sure that I wanted like a grand entrance. Like I didn't want the house to just be right on the street. I wanted there to be a bit of pomp and circumstance for your Sims to get into the house. So definitely wanted to create this really grand semicircle driveway out there. And there's plenty of space in here. Now when I was initially doing the outer shell of it, I didn't think that this would constitute as a mansion because it didn't feel big enough, but I'm glad I held back on building more because y'all, this was a absolute beast to furnish and just to like decide on all of the details, like the windows and the doors and things like that. And like you'll notice that throughout the video certain things change, like the windows and you know, just a lot of other things like that, because I was just going back and forth with what worked versus what looks the best. So hopefully you all will enjoy this, and I had so much fun. I actually started this build a couple days ago, but you know, like I said, we've been moving house. Like every day I would come home from work and like work on the kitchen, like we're trying to paint it because it's like it was originally like this green color. So I'm just trying to do little updates until we get into the deeper renovations. Let me know if you all will be interested in me doing like renovation videos on this channel, or you know, just let me know if you all will be interested in like house updates and before and afters and things like that. Obviously, I'm a builder in The Sims. I love building, I love renovating, I love decorating. That is my real life passion, and Sims has been an outlet for me to do that thus far. But I definitely see avenues to take that into my real life, so please comment down below if you would be interested in that. But anyway, yeah, back to the build. Working on this landscaping. And I went through several different things with the landscaping. Like initially in this front area, I was going to leave it this stone terrain paint. However, I do eventually change it mostly to grass, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. I really love the checker floor in like the foyer area. I feel like that's very, and don't drag me for this, but I feel like that's very like Kardashian-esque. And there's nothing wrong with the Kardashians. It's just I typically don't model anything after specific celebrities, but I do remember coming across a picture on Google like some years ago, and that was like a similar flooring that was in the mom, Kris Jenner's house. So yeah, I definitely drew inspiration from that. Now we're working on these little embellishments over the bedroom doors. What I did, I just got 2 pieces of awnings and I set them side by side in the wall, so it just looks like a bit of an embellishment, you know, something kind of ornate and unique. So yeah, I really like how that came out, and I paired it with 2 of those columns that came with City Living, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, here I am back on the outside, just adding in some more roof detailing. I've been looking at builds in real life and also my fellow Simmers on Twitter and YouTube, and I just love how they're able to add more roofing and then detail it out a little bit further, and it just gives a whole new look and feel to the roof. So I tried to incorporate some similar techniques in there. I hope you all will enjoy. And yeah, like I said, this roof isn't perfect, but it is leaps and bounds beyond what I used to do with my traditional roofing. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable, and hopefully sooner rather than later I will be I will have a more defined style with how I do my roofing. So yeah, here we are in the master bedroom. I use the bed and the dresser, oh lord, the dresser piece that came with the Vampires pack. I've just felt like the pack has such a strong Victorian / Gothic influence, and I feel like this will pair well to those living a more lavish life. I mean, there's so much detail and craftsmanship in these pieces, so I feel like some people with particular tastes, which tends to be a lot of eccentric or, you know, more wealthy people, that's more of their thing, or at least that's what I've seen on like the internet and TV. So yeah, definitely wanted to use that. And that mirror in this bedroom is also the also from the Vampires pack, so I would consider that one the master bedroom. This bedroom that we're working in now, I imagine that there was like a teenage girl here. So yeah, there's lots of pinks, and typically when I create rooms for my older females, I typically don't use a lot of pink, but for some reason I was very moved to that color scheme. I also used quite a bit of purples, yellows, and red tones. So I really loved how this room came out. I would say out of all of the bedrooms, this one, I really like this one the best. I feel like it has the most personality. It feels the most lived-in, and yeah, I just hope you all will enjoy. I decided to change that window in the girls' bedroom to the window from Parenthood. I think it was initially one of the rounder windows that came with Maybe Get to Work. And this room has like its own balcony access, so I just put in the door there. And I put a yoga mat out there, you know, just so whoever's in this room can unwind and clear their mind. Now this third bedroom here is more on the generic side. I didn't have a particular person in mind. I was thinking this could either be like a good guest bedroom, or maybe like a in-law suite when grandma and grandpa came over, or this will be a nice butler's room if you have the vintage glamour pack and you wanted to hire some live-in staff. This could be a good room for them. So I just kept this room pretty neutral, kind of like on the grayish / silvery cool tone type spectrum. And there's also a little bit of blue in here if I'm not mistaken, and a little bit of beige also. So just keeping it very, very neutral. I didn't have any particular sim in mind, because depending on how you play the game, there are a number of different sims who could stay here and be quite happy with this room. What I forgot to mention, in the master bedroom, there is a private balcony as well. It is of course larger than the one in the girls' bedroom, and it overlooks the backyard, which is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, now I'm using that little side table that came with cats and dogs, if I'm not mistaken, and one of the baskets that came with seasons. So yeah, like I said, this would be a good guest room or a nice butler's suite. And I wanted to make sure that each of the bedrooms had one of these little chandeliers that I think came with base game, if I'm not mistaken, and all of them had the walk-in closets that came with Get Together. Now I'm just adding in some wall lights in the hallway, and I think we're about to hop into the kitchen. I love the kitchen, even though it's not a huge kitchen. I feel like it's just big enough to be functional and to have a sense of efficiency, so I really enjoy that. The counters and cabinets came with the Parenthood pack, and I think I used kind of like a grayish tone. And now I'm building in like a little pantry. Of course it's not functional, but I felt like it was nice to have. I just added in a 1x2 square on the side of the kitchen, and I put in the decorative piece that came with Dine Out, if I'm not mistaken, and I just added in a door arch, so it looks like you can access it, but none of those are gameplay items. Those are just for show. I was initially going to do the dining room next to the kitchen, but looking at the table that I wanted to use and the space that I had remaining, I decided to move the dining space in the same area as the living space. So there's not a huge living room, but honestly, you don't need it. In my opinion, if I was to come over this house, I would not even spend my time in the living room. I would be so busy trying to be out back in the garden that there's really not a lot of room needed. So yeah, I'm using those chairs that I think came with either Vampires or Base Game. I'm pretty sure it's Vampires, and I pair it with that long glass table that I'm pretty sure came with City Living. Don't 100% quote me on that, but I think it's City Living. And then as far as in the living room space, I'm using the glow bar that came with the Vintage Glamour stuff pack, and I believe the couch and the 2 chairs came with Spa Day. And there is like an electric fireplace that came with City Living, and I do eventually add a TV above. I almost forgot to add a TV in here. Like I said, if it was me, I would be so worried about being in the backyard and being outside and soaking in all of that beauty. I wouldn't even think about a television, but I do add one a bit later on. Now I'm just adding in some clutter pieces here and there just to make the space actually feel lived in. And I don't really use those plants by the door, but I felt like in such a kind of luxurious mansion that was perfect, so I decided to put those 2 plants by the door. And like I said earlier, I opted out of putting the dining room in here and opted for a kitchen nook, so I put in this 6-seater table that came with laundry day, if I'm not mistaken, and some chairs that came with Base Game. And then I add in I think those are Base Game chairs, either Base Game or Get Together, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, just fine-tuning some things in the kitchen. I feel like people in California, they just have to have their coffee, so I made sure to put in the espresso machines that came with Get Together, and I added in a rug from Vintage Glamour underneath the kitchen table. Now we're working on the office. Although I do love this light and bright wall paneling in here, I do opt for a darker paneling. I just feel like that's really common in like private studies. I don't know why people choose to use darker colors. I guess because dark colors kind of make you feel a bit more enclosed, a bit more focused. So I don't know, maybe that's the psychological reason behind why people use darker colors and heavier woods in there. But that's just my own opinion based on what I know about color theory. I'm adding in some of these pictures here that came with Base Game, and it's not too often where I use that little sunflower picture and the chicken picture, but for some reason it works in there. Now we're out back by the pool. I am doing this thing where I take the chair and the ottoman that came with the Perfect Patio stuff pack, if I'm not mistaken, and I smushed them together to make it look like a couple of lounge chairs. And now I am adding some fencing around the bar area. All of those items, if I'm not mistaken, came with the either the backyard stuff pack or the Perfect Patio stuff pack. And I think the barbecue is Base Game, if I'm not mistaken. The stools are from Spa Day, and that little table and chairs came with Get Together. So yeah, I'm just sprucing up some things, adding some palm trees in the front. Definitely wanted to have those. Like I said, this is very California inspired, very, you know, kind of bougie in that way. It took this build for me to really realize that Oasis Springs is the original bougie neighborhood in The Sims 4. Like, I feel like Oasis Springs is so slept on because people, they typically play in like the other parts of this world where the lots are a little bit more smaller and more congested. But just really looking, especially in like this gated community area in the far left corner of the map, this is the original bougie neighborhood. So I felt like until we got Del Sol Valley, this was perfect for me to put a Californian type mansion in. And I feel like having all of these flowers and it just really brings it home for me. Like you'll see in the screenshots. Also, you heard me say screenshots. Yes, I might have to go back to doing screenshots for a while instead of video tours. Simply because my camera has, what am I saying? My computer. It's been a minute, y'all. Forgive me. But yeah, my computer has been super duper laggy lately, and that's the reason why you all haven't gotten a machinima yet for the fall festival build. It's just been super laggy. Like, I would go on my cinematic camera, and every time I will go from point A to point B, or point 5 or point 6, however you want to say it, it's been laggy, and the footage has been super duper choppy. Like, I didn't want to give you all a trash machinima, so I held off on it. That build is available on the gallery if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, so for now, I'm just gonna have to stick to screenshots until I figure out how to optimize my camera states, or maybe get a more powerful computer. But yeah, it's been super duper laggy. I've been looking up things for quite some time, like on YouTube, and seeing how people, you know, clear up space and make their games run faster, but it's still super laggy, so apologies for that. But the screenshots are beautiful. Now we are working on the front yard area. While I was talking about my computer, I was putting in those hedges, and I made them kind of curve shaped just to give it a bit more interest. And you can do it by using the move objects on cheat and just putting it in whatever formation you like. And I used those debug bricks around the curved pathway just to make the place look more finished off. Now I'm going in with terrain paint, and I always wanted to do that effect where the grass looks like two different tones, and I felt like this build was the perfect opportunity to do that. Like, this just feels like such a bougie build, and I am living for it. I'm so living for it. So yeah, now we're adding in some lights around the curved pathway, and just really adding lights to the building in general, just to make the place look a bit more illuminated at night so we can actually see what we're doing. And now I am getting rid of the stone paving in the inner circle of the curved path, and I am putting in these bushes and flowers and things, and it comes out so beautiful. Another thing that I've been incorporating in this build is using the patches of grass. So if you look in your terrain options, the third option where it's like the flowers, I've been adding that lately, and it's just been making everything look a bit more lush, and it really gives this build a more manicured garden type feel. So I've been incorporating that all throughout the build, and I hope you all like it. I love it. I definitely plan on doing this more with builds in the future, and it's just giving me so much life. Now we're just in the backyard area adding in some finishing touches, and we're back in the front adding in some more topiary. So earlier I put in the llamas, and those are off to the left, and I decided to add in the elephant. Quick fact about me, elephants is probably my favorite animal, or one of my favorites. I feel like they kind of interchange between elephants, giraffes, pandas, and koalas. But yeah, elephants are definitely up there, and I have like a collection of elephants around the house, and I just love them. I love them so much. Elephants, they're super duper intelligent, they have great memories, and they're just such graceful elephants. Oh, what am I saying? They're such graceful animals, so I love elephants. Anyway, back to the build. I think we might have zoomed right over like our sunroom slash conservatory, which is off of the kitchen. We might hop back in there at some point, but it's definitely in the screenshots. And now I'm taking these wall flowers or decorative flowers from various packs. There's Get Together in there, as well as jungle adventure flowers that I lined that fence with. And we're in nighttime mode now. I'm just adding in some lights by the pool and that checkered garden place over there. I really love those gumdrop trees that we use in like our checkered garden, and I feel like it pairs perfectly with the chess table that I put out there. Now I am just adding in the things for the bathroom. On the first level, I didn't want guests to have to always go upstairs to use the bathroom, so there's like a tiny bathroom off the foyer next to that walk-in closet, which in my mind would kind of be like a coat check or something like that. But yeah, adding in a little bit of a laundry room off to the side. And yeah, I'm just finishing up some things. I think I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here now. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and feel free to follow me on my social medias. My Instagram handle is Simply-Nisey, and you could definitely find me on Twitter. My handle there is Simply-Nisey. And for more of my builds and to just follow me on the gallery, my origin ID is Simply-Nisey. Again, thank you all so much for watching and being patient with me, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye guys.